Today I'm going to make a water fountain house. I'm not entirely sure what to call this for the dogs, with a house part to hide the spigot and the hose to keep it from getting chewed on. Alright, so to start with, I'm going to cut these two pieces of rebar in half to keep him from being able to pull it up and out. Doesn't have to be exact. So for simplicity, I'm going to just use the full width of the deck boards, which is same as this. I'm going to figure out how long I want it to be, and we will go from there. 12 3/4. Now that we're set up, I'm going to get these cut to 12 3/4. All right, so I've got the boards for the platform done. With them being very wet, pressure treated boards, I'm going to assemble it with them touching, and over time, they will end up with a natural 1/8 of an inch gap, give or take. Next, I'm going to cut this down to length and then rip it in half to go across the bottom. Alright, I'm going to get this ripped down to go underneath the decking part. I'm going to send these to 4 1/4. And 4 1/4. I believe this will be sturdy enough. I do believe that this will very easily hold a Basset and a Hutchie. And to make sure that this doesn't ever get misplaced, I am going to bolt this to there. All right, get started. I have the side pieces for the box part cut out. Next up is going to be the frame so that I can start actually putting it together. I don't need the frame pieces to be this wide, so I'm just going to go ahead and rip all of these roughly in half. Does not have to be perfect. Now we're going to start putting the frame onto the outside pieces. And then we can start the actual assembly. Now I'm going to start working on the inside frame pieces, getting those attached, spaced with enough room for a piece in the back. I'm going to cut the tops of these at 5 degrees just so that the roof is angled and it doesn't pull water. So now I'm just going to cut the same 5-degree angle on the top part at the correct height so that it matches with the two sides. I'm going to need to drill a hole through here in order to connect the hose to it to keep it completely unexposed. So I'm going to use my punch and put it right where the hose adapter goes. Get it nice and level. Get it centered. I said centered. Level. And punched. I'm going to drill this hole out for the hose. It's soft wood, so I'm not worried about stepping up as much. And just 2 steps. No need to go through 6. It's in the hole. It worked. It is a great fit.
Longest thing you've ever held, isn't it?
Also the thinnest. So now I'm going to cut 4 slats for the roof. The reason I'm doing 4 instead of 3 is I'm going to rip them down to slightly thinner pieces just to throw off how symmetrical everything else is. And the front is actually a little bit wider than 3 since the sides come over the edge as well. I've got the roof slats, and now I'm just going to rip them down so I can get 4 of them to be roughly the same size. Now I'm going to get the front and, well, the top and bottom braces for the back, because I'm leaving that open so that the spigot and everything else is still very easily accessible. Okay. Alright, so that piece right there. That's a little bit. That's a good fit. So now I'm just going to assemble the roof. I'm just going to use the cutoffs from the last pieces that I cut. Now I'm going to attach the sides to the front. Alright, so now I'm going to send 6 of these 2.5-inch screws up through the frame and through the side into the platform itself. Alright, let's give this some color.
everything is done. The lid, I was initially going to add hinges, but I really don't feel like I need to at this point in time. I can still access the spigot, and dogs have water now. And there is rebar holding it inside the big part. There is a hole underneath the deck and rock underneath of it. I don't know how much it's going to help with how thick this clay is, but we'll see.